Hello and welcome to Arise Football. So we're barely a few days away to the start of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and so far the odds are staggering. I mean, it's a 48 team competition, which means it's going to be harder this year for whoever emerges as the winner of this year's competition. But in today's show, we're going to be looking at the odds of each team and probably talking about the favorites for the competition. So first of all, we must understand that there's a different dynamic this year. We have 48 teams competing, so the whole structure of the 2026 FIFA World Cup is going to be different from what we had in Qatar. For example, it's very possible that the best third place teams are going to make it through to the next round of the competition. But I want us to look at a few favorites here. In my opinion, going into this particular World Cup, I think my first favorite would be Spain, right? Also because Spain are the last European team to win a major trophy. We saw Spain lift the Euros a couple of seasons ago or a couple of years ago, and that team was fantastic. And Luis de la Fuente have in his possession that same Spain squad, and they're probably more mature now. Lamine Yamal emerged recently as the best player in La Liga, and also we have in that same team guys like Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, who have been Syria winners with their club sides and were also part of Spain's Euro winning team. Also, David Raya is undoubtedly Spain's number one at the moment, even though he would face massive competition from Garcia. But Raya has had a fantastic season with Arsenal and is going into the competition as Spain's number one. So Spain are undoubtedly one of the favorites for the competition, right? And they find themselves in a group that has Cabo Verde, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. You would expect Spain to go out of this group very easily, right? I understand it's tournament football and a lot can go wrong even for some of the biggest favorites, but in my opinion, from this group, Spain stands as favorite to maybe emerge and also go into this next phase of the competition. And one team which the Spanish team has, and they've always had from history and even now under De La Fuente, is the fact that they're able to play as a team. Even when one or two players are missing from the setup, that team vibe is still there. I mean, you think of a midfield that has Pedri, Rodri, and Fabian Ruiz. I mean, there are only a few midfielders in the world that can rival that, maybe none actually. So Spain would be one of my favorites going into this particular year's competition. The next favorite for me would be Portugal, and I'll tell you why in a while, or in a little while, why I rate Portugal ahead of Spain. Now, Portugal comes into this competition with a lot of experience, guys, not just talent but experience. But I want us to first start by talking about that Portuguese midfield. It has Bruno Fernandes, the best player in the Premier League last season. That midfield also has the likes of Vitinha and João Neves, who are undoubtedly, in my opinion, two of the best midfielders in the world right now. So imagine a midfield of Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, and João Neves. Is there a better midfield partnership in the world? At the moment, I don't think there is. Even if you want to talk about just Vitinha and João Neves, look at what they've been doing at PSG. That combination has been incredible for Paris. And then you have the likes of Bernardo Silva, the experienced former Manchester City captain, in there. You also have Gonzalo Neves. And we talk about Portugal's attack line, of course, led by the marksman Cristiano Ronaldo, whom in my opinion may not have the biggest impact, but he's surrounded by pure talent in the likes of Joao Felix, Rafael Leao. These are all players who are hot and are sorted by most European clubs. You also have the likes of Conceição, who plays for Juventus. And in defense, of course, there's Ruben Dias. So it's a very solid Portuguese team. You want to talk about the fullbacks? Guys like Joao Cancelo, Nuno Mendes. So you see, Portugal is a very, very strong team and undoubtedly one of the major favorites, especially if everything goes well. But where I have a small doubt about Portugal is at the level of the coach. Personally, I think Portugal has all this talent, but Roberto Martinez is not the manager they need for a competition like this. I'm sorry. Portugal have everything it takes to win the World Cup, but maybe the manager may be their weakest link. I'm saying so because the last time Martinez managed this much talent, he didn't win anything. He had a generational Belgian squad when he had the likes of Eden Hazard, Witzel, young Lukaku, and I mean he had so much to deal with Belgium, but he didn't really win anything. And Portugal are in a group with the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. We would expect them also, just like Spain, to walk out of this group easily, but it really doesn't translate into them winning the competition, even though I'm putting them there as one of the favorites because of what I see them having on paper. But if Martinez can't work it out, then he definitely won't do anything. My next favorite would be France. Right, I'm going to talk about five favorites today. My next favorite would be France, and I'm saying France not because I truly believe France would win the World Cup. It's because of the amount of talent which they have. But I also think DJ Deschamps has probably run out of ideas. I would have preferred France to go into this World Cup with a new manager who has new motivation to win. Deschamps has won a lot with this team already, and I feel like when you look at this French team, he doesn't really have much to contribute anymore. But when you look at them on paper, France can produce 2 or 3 very solid starting 11s, right? I'll talk about their midfield because I believe so much that midfield is key in any winning team. You have the likes of Aurelien Tchouameni, Adrien Rabiot, and Ryan Cherki, who can be a formidable midfield partnership. And in attack, I mean, Deschamps is poised for choice. You have the likes of Olise, Kylian Mbappe, Desiree Doué, Liam Thuram, and Ousmane Dembele. Whatever combination he chooses to use would have a formidable French attack, right? And in defense, Ibrahima Konate and Upamecano have been pretty good with their clubs lately. And in fullback positions, France is still covered. Are they gonna go with Gusto? Are they gonna go with Kunde at right back or Theo Hernandez at left back? So you see everyone on the pitch, France is covered. And of course, Mike Maignan is a solid keeper. If the French team can find that motivation, then we can see them winning. But also, we're beginning to see little cracks. I mean, there are rumors of Kylian Mbappe falling out with a couple of his teammates. There was a video recently where he didn't shake hands with Golo Kante. So if that French team wants to behave like the team we saw in South Africa, which was equally very talented, which has the likes of Fran Ribery, Florent Madula, Nicolas Anelka, Henry and the others. If they want to behave like the 2010 team, then this talented French team won't do anything at the World Cup. Now, after these 3 teams, I'm going to go with Brazil. And I'm going with Brazil simply because the World Cup is being played in America. It's much closer to Brazil and the other countries from North America. One of the reasons why we may not see a European country emerge as world champions this year is because the World Cup is being played in America. The temperature is different, the condition is totally different. It's not like what they're used to seeing in Europe or in Asia. They've had to travel really far to play the World Cup. So conditioning may be one of the things that would be a problem for European teams. And if so, then countries like Brazil and Argentina can take advantage of it. And I think Brazil, when I look at the team they have, the only place they're lacking is that they don't have a top striker, but they have players who contribute goals as well, right? So if this Brazilian team can click, if you have a defense of Bremer and Gabriel, knowing that you have someone like Alisson at the back, and the midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta, and Casemiro, for me that's a very solid midfield. Vini, Rafinha, and maybe Cunha or Igor Thiago. It's a good team, and they have such an experienced manager. Even though Carlo has never really been great with the national team, but he's stepping in with so much experience to manage this Brazilian national team. And if you can get them going, if you can get Vini clicking, I feel like Brazil, of course, one of the favorites. And the number 5 favorites for me would shock you guys. I'm not gonna say Argentina, no. Guys, watch out for Norway. Watch out for Norway. Just watch out for Norway. I'm really not gonna say much about it, but they are my 5th favorites to leave the World Cup. It's not England, it's not Argentina. I'm watching out for Norway. Thank you guys, and let's know in the comment section who you think are the favorites to lift the 2026 FIFA World Cup.